Hi and welcome back to the channel where we are role-playing and storytelling in Crusader Kings 3. We are role-playing as King Frey of Sweden, the head of House Korp, and by role-playing I mean that I'm going about achieving my goals and dealing with events and all kinds of stuff according to the king's personality. We are taking his traits into consideration and also the personality I have molded and developed for him during the storytelling parts of this Let's Play. So the last episode ended on a bit of a sad note with the king's wife and the love of his life dying, and we had a funeral and the king stood on the cliffs watching her longship disappear over the horizon and wrote a beautiful poem. And he is still heartbroken, of course, but there is a kingdom to rule and we have a lot of things going on. We're still in many wars. Our wife was a jarl of her own in Norway, and her jarldom is now split up between our sons. So we should start by taking a look at that situation. We have a primary heir for both me and the queen, who is dead, is Jarl Starkadr here. He is my heir, so he's gonna inherit my kingdom. But he has already inherited this jarldom, Gulathingslög, from his mother. He is currently in a war against Jämtland sisters, or the Jarl of Jämtland, Jarl Torun Björnsdottir. It looks like it doesn't look like he will have any trouble at all managing that. He has a much larger force than Jarl of Jämtland, but Jämtland girls, they are a big part in our storytelling, so we will get back to them later maybe. And the second born son of me and my wife is Jarl Arngrim here. Here's Jarl Arngrim, he is now a jarl of his own. He was formerly a vassal of the king's second-born son, but not with his wife, but with his favorite concubine Giselle. And he was made jarl by me, the king, and he was the overlord of my other son, Arngrimr here. But since Arngrimr is now jarl, he is independent, and Jarl Karl here is still my vassal, but he only has one holding, so maybe it will be a clash between these brothers in the future when he thinks that as a jarl he should have control of his jarldom. They are also rivals. They must have developed a rivalry while Jarl Karl was the jarl of Arngrimr while he was still a chief. So it definitely looks like there's going to be some kind of clash between brothers over there, but it will be in the future, I think, because for now Karl here is my vassal and he's definitely not strong enough to take on Arngrimr by himself, and if Arngrimr would want to take on Karl, he would have to. Since he's my vassal, he would have to declare war on me, and I don't think he will do that. Unless circumstances change, which they always can do, but not for now. I don't think that will happen. So that's the inheritance after the queen sorted. What's next on the agenda? Yeah, it's all our wars. So I had a look at them, and the first one here is the Holy War for the country of Prague, because my son-in-law had a matrilineal marriage with my daughter Gerdur, and he, Sigmund, became king of Bohemia. It was a surprise for both him and me, I believe. But there were many in the kingdom and around him who weren't too happy about a heathen or pagan coming and becoming the king. So his Catholic neighbor here attacked him, and we answered his call to arms, but we haven't really been able to help since we have been dealing with other wars. But I noticed now that he's dead, and on the throne of Bohemia is my grandson, who is of our house. He's only 4 years old. And while we have a positive war score in this holy war, I don't think we will be in it for long. I have had every intention of going down here, trying to save the situation for my family, but I took a look at this Dissolution War. It is a new kind of war, I think, introduced with a Fate of Iberia DLC, and he has already lost this war because they have taken the capital here, and this war is about dismantling the whole kingdom. All vassals become independent and the kingdom title is destroyed. So there is really not, probably that will also cancel the other war here. We will see about that, but in the meantime I will see what I can do to save my grandson. I think that his mother here, my daughter, when Sigmund died, she fled with her children, right? He's still the king in name, but he has his counselors are holding the fort here, so to speak, because what can a 4-year-old boy do against these rampaging Christians trying to dethrone him? And there is a high chance that they will capture him and kill him. So I will try to educate him by offer guardianship. This is me. He will not accept, which he definitely should, but the game doesn't let you willy-nilly take someone from their court just to educate them. But since I am the head of the house, I will use my hook to get him to my court and educate him here. And also, we should do the same with his sister. We cannot abandon her. Oh, I can't until he has accepted. I'll have to get back to that when I run the game. And at home here, at our court in Västergötland, the king, of course, is mortified by the death of his wife, and being a lustful man, he's gonna go about seeking solace and comfort in the arms of women. So he's gonna go search the prison for more Breton girls. We have some of them in our prison after raiding, and the king, apart from missing his queen, he is also missing Giselle, his favorite concubine. She was a queen in Brittany who came to be an important part of our story here, and so the king, he's gonna go find another Breton girl in the dungeons and make her concubine. This one is a melancholic lunatic, but she's an insane zealot. But the king, he really don't care anymore. He's just saying that bring me all the women you can find in the dungeons. He's gone a bit crazy after the death of his wife and Giselle. So she hates me now, so maybe she will murder me if she is so inclined. She's got a good intrigue, so she might do it. I hope not, but you never know. And he also needs a wife. I mean, he's not willing to replace Queen Sif just so, but his children and his counselors have told him that that he must have a wife to help him manage the realm. And we found one that could fit in the story. First I was thinking about him seeking comfort and solace in the arms of Mare, King Björn's, the former King Björn's daughter, who is now a court jester. Here is Mare. I kind of enjoy the story of her being brought up in prison and becoming a happy lunatic. She's also a fearless maniac, brave, patient and forgiving. I first thought it could be interesting for the story if the king kind of thought that, oh, sweet Mare, come marry me. But nah, she was only a child when he was brought here as a prisoner, and now she's the court jester. I think the king has kind of fatherly feelings towards Mare here, so instead I have another plan for Mare, because it would be fun if her story and her line could continue through the ages. So I will marry her off to this Dutchman who I released in order to teach my children Dutch to better, so that they can rule our new lands down in Holland here. He converted to our faith, and his story could maybe be continued as well if he and Mare gets married. He is melancholic, and for the storytelling part, let's say that the only thing that can cheer this melancholic man up is a court jester, the sweet and lovely, fearless maniac Mare Björnsdotter, and we're gonna go and get them a matrilineal marriage so that this great house can continue, and Mare's line of Munster continue. If they get children, their children will maybe have claims on the Kingdom of Sweden, and that could make for interesting twists and turns as we progress with the Let's Play. So let's get them married. Mare deserves some happiness in her life, and this sweet Dutchman can give her this. He's a craven, but she will have to wear the pants, so to speak. There we go. Gerard and Mare are married. So what about our marriage? Well, like I said, the king doesn't really care. There are a lot of women from all over the place who are willing to go and marry a king, of course, but for storytelling purposes I found an option, since I'm doing this, since I'm entertaining myself with the story of the Jämtland girls. I found one. Oh, maybe it's easier to find her by looking at my lover, Chieftain Rikissa the Impaler of House Jämtland. We are lovers, her and the king. She is married, so I can't really marry her, but she has a sister, I believe, who is not married. Here she is, Gerda Björnsdotter of Jämtland. So let's have it so that Rikissa is down here with the king. They are doing the kinky stuff in the bedroom, and Rikissa's sister comes to visit. She's one-legged. She's a rapacious adventurer. And Rikissa suggests that she knows that the king needs a wife, and here comes her sister, unmarried, so she suggests why not marry into our house. We can we can invite my sister to our bed. Rikissa, she's kind of a... Well, go watch the previous episodes and you should get a better understanding about Rikissa. So she will, of course, accept this marriage proposal. So let's get it going. And we also need to get rid of our Dutch holdings down here. And with that in mind, we have the king's favorite daughter here, Audun. She has 3 boys. They are her sons with Friedrich of Gute, a second son of the chieftain of Gotland. And since she's the king's favorite daughter, he has always called Audun here the apple of my eye. He wants to see her children getting their own line, starting their own legacy, and maybe their own house down here in the Netherlands. And here is her oldest son, Frey Audunson Korp. He's married to this Ivarin girl. So he already has a decent ally, which will come in handy because he will have all kinds of problems managing this land down here. So I'm gonna give him my Dutch holdings. There you go, you are now a great count. And if something should happen to him, his brothers will inherit, but hopefully he can start his own dynasty down here, which will be Order's line and legacy to this game if he managed to do this. And he speaks Dutch, I made sure of that. That should give him a heads up, an advantage when managing these lands here and his neighbors. As long as we live, he is our vassal, so we will defend him from outer threats, but we can't do much about if some of the neighboring lords down here are seeking to go to war with him, like a civil war. But that is something that we will see if the game, when we run the game, what happens down there. And I will send my marshal down to help him increase control in his counties here. So his capital is Holland, so we should start with that. Go help my grandson, Marshal Chieftain Åsbjörn is sent down to Holland to get the Dutch peasants in line. Teach them how to grow tulips and go down there and tell them how to grow their tulips. That's something they sure can learn a thing or two about, those Dutch. Sorry. I'm starting to send my armies back down here so that we can reinforce them and send them down to Bohemia. Like I said, I don't think there will be a need to, because any moment now this war will have ended, and I think that will end the short reign of my grandson on the Bohemian throne. We will see about that in a second when I run the game. Yeah, let's run it and see what happens. Excellent. My grandson here is now safely at my court. And let's see about saving your sister. No, I don't have more hooks, can I? Where are you? She's in Prague. Can I invite you to my court? She will accept even without the hook. Let's do that, and hopefully she comes and brings the sister, because even if we do lose the kingdom of Bohemia here, even if it's lost for a house, if I manage to save my grandchildren, they will still have claims, and maybe in the future we can return in triumph. Oh, there's the Dissolution War. So, all those Kingdom of Bohemia is destroyed, and they all became independent. Oh, here, Rikissa the Impaler's sister is now my wife. I mean, she's a decent character. She's got decent traits and respectable name. Of course, I could have found a much better wife. The best thing really would have been to, like, if I was playing the game to optimize the gameplay and to quote unquote win. The best thing would have been to find an old woman with great stats that was too old to bear children, because more children will only cause us problems with the inheritance at this point in time. But here we are. My lover, Shiftes Rikissa's sister, is now my wife. She can try to comfort the king from his sorrow and grief. So what happened now to this Bohemia situation? It says that he's still the king of Bohemia. I thought that the kingdom of Bohemia was destroyed. What does it say? Oh, the shore kingdom is still there. So there is a reason for us to send our armies down, because he's still at war with Moravia here. That's the Holy War. So, like I said, let's collect our strength here in Västergötland and then go down and see what we can do to help our grandson with on his throne. Here, it's an event with the love of the king's life, his wife and his queen Sif. A life to remember. The recent death of my departed wife, High Chiefess Sif, has left her loved ones grieving the loss of a great woman. As one of those closest to the deceased, I could take up the mantle of hosting a suitable funeral. It is a tradition amongst good Asatruans that we bury our noblest with a boat, the better to carry them to Valhalla, and surely Sif deserves this high distinction. So at the end of the last episode I had a storytelling part that was Sif's funeral, and it was just as described here. We sent her out on a great longship that was lit on fire. She was sent out here from the estuary out on the Kattegat Sea, and the king watched her. The flames from her ship disappear over the horizon. But let's take a look at the options here. So I could do a small symbolic stone ship, one grand stone ship, one ornate sailing ship serves the best. Now the king will spare no expense for the funeral, so we are going with the most expensive option, an ornate sailing ship serves the best. And it says here that preparation for the funerals begin. But yeah, so this is like if you've seen the Witcher series on Netflix, you know all about timeline hoppings. So there was a part of the funeral in the last episode, and now you get to see the rest, hopefully. Here the funeral continues. I stand in front of the small crowd of mourners, eyes sweeping over each of the weeping, bereaved in turn, and begin my speech. Sif had a singular drive, perhaps that's why she was considered a fine high chiefess, a feat that she may never be surpassed in. The barrow behind me already contains a purpose-built vessel, the product of exotic woods and our best shipwrights. It will never sail mortal oceans, but may please the gods and bring blessing on the deceased. Retainers carrying the last of the burial treasures, then, finally, Sif's corpse laid out atop its bier. Closed mound. Let's merge our armies for the trip down south. In command of the army will be Jarl Rikulfur Hildursson of Östergötland. He's a logistician, so it should help with the supplies. It's a long way down there. Jarl Rikulfur is really starting to grow on me. When we first took the kingdom, we made him Jarl of Östergötland here. Not because we liked him, but because we thought him so boring that he wouldn't cause us any trouble. But since then he's still not the most entertaining man in the kingdom, but he has proven himself a capable man, at least. As long as he holds Prague itself, we are getting ticking war score, and that is good. So are we gonna sail down the Elbe river here? Oh, Jarl Ketilmundur lost against some Catholics. That is too bad. He was our ally, but we were in 3 wars, and even though we accepted his call to arms, we never had the time to help him. So here we come. Prague should have a decent enough supply limit, I hope. I will have to rearrange this army a bit. Let's have the onagers. And some of the levies. Make them a siege force under Herjolf Viti. He's our siege commander. And try to march on the enemy's capital. I don't know, he had a lot of forces here. When last we were down here trying to do something about this situation. Here comes some enemies. I don't think they are in this war, but they are hostile. It's hard to tell sometimes in CK3 whether... Oh, here's Saga. My daughter, who is married matrilineal to this Khazar wanderer here, she has given birth to twins. It's Egil Sagason, and his little brother Njal. May you grow strong and wise. So we are getting on with the siege here of Brno, the capital of Moravia. So we should be able to... Yeah. We won the war against King Stastko the Impaler. That is good. And then there's this war that my son and heir, I think he inherited this from his mother as well. I don't think he declared it himself. But he's at war with the Jämtland girls. Jarl Torun Björnsdotter of Jämtland. My lover Rikissa's sister. And my wife's sister as well, I believe. She must be, yeah, of course she is. He's trying to conquer a county from her. And like I said, she doesn't have many men. So he should be able to do this himself. Let's march to Pomerania and disband them there. Because we could go up and help my son-in-law, but I think he's got it under control. He's got 1,000 men, she only has a couple of hundred. So he shouldn't have any problems there. Oh, I was wanting to forge the Jums vikings, and I thought it would be enough to control lands down here. But it looks like that we need to actually own it ourselves in order to form this holy order. So I'll have to hold off on that. It's time to hold court. The king is not at all in the mood for this, but his advisors has told him that you need to hold court to let the realm see their new queen, Gyrder Björnsdotter. Gesture for the first in line to approach. Here is my vassal, Chiefess Asta. Yeah, she's Bercy's daughter. She and her house has also been an important part of the storytelling ever since the second episode when Bercy distinguished himself in battle and as a reward was made chief. And this is his daughter. My vassal, Chiefess Asta, approaches the throne with a young man in tow. My liege and king, she spouts, my brother Ögmundur boy seeks the honor of serving in your retinue of champions. Give him the opportunity to prove his quality. Ögmundur smiles weakly. Though I am only a middling swordsman, I hope to learn much in your service. So she wants young Ögmundur here to become my champion. And I could accept. I could name him a bodyguard. Or say the graveyards are full of middling swordsmen. Now, the king, he remembers that he made Chiefess Asta's father chief because he was a great fighter. He was a berserker. He ripped the head of 2 or 3 of the enemy's champions in our first war. So I think that he will give Ögmundur here a chance. I will even appoint him as my bodyguard. Let's go with that. Here is the second event. It's a child of the court. I am faced with Grima Audursdotter of Moral's sad eyes, which grow larger and more pitiful as her acquaintance Order gently ushers her towards my throne. King, she laments, the girl has been at your court with no one to watch over her since the death of her dear papa. Please look to her future. What can be done with such a child? Yeah, I remember this house. They were once vassals of a former chief of Jämtland. And we had one of this house at least as a concubine, perhaps. Anyway, they are a house that we know of. We don't really know Audur or Grima here, but let's see what we can do. I could raise the girl myself. I could say my hands are full, but I will find her a home. Or unfortunate, but not the crown's problem. I would say my hands are full because I already have my 2 grandchildren as wards, and my new queen can take care of this girl. And here's the third event, harboring an exile. A new arrival to my court today is one Tatja, an envoy from my acquaintance King Melis of Estonia. King Frey, it has come to the attention of my liege that you are harboring an individual of particular interest. Darate has legitimate claim to the chiefdom of Semigalians. King Melis requests and demands the return of this errant subject of his. I send Tatja out of the room whilst my council deliberates. What should we do? So, Tatja from King Melis here wants Darate Tontegode here returned to him. She recently married my son, my champion and friend. Of course not. I could go with the option to disguise my concubine Origuen and send her instead. While that would be funny, it's not really the king's style. Had he had a different personality, I would have gone for that one just for the laughs. But now, refuse. Darate Tontegode stays. And that concludes holding court. And with that court holding, I will also end this episode here. Tomorrow we will continue to look around at the situation, because there are still so many new things to look at, and any day now the king will go to join his queen in Valhalla, and then we will have even more interesting times ahead of us. So I hope I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Thank you for watching this one, and goodbye.